Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Osereme, and I hope you're doing great and having a nice day. If today is your first time on here, you're very welcome. Please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to like and leave me a comment in the comment section. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be sharing with you how I made use of yet another scrap fabric to make a bralette top. So let's go straight into this tutorial. So guys, for this tutorial I had three major measurements. That's the first one, the measurement of the upper part of my bust down to my under bust. It was 7 inches. Then I measured the side from the side of my bust down to the middle of my chest. It was 7 inches. Then I measured round my under bust. It was 28 inches. Then I went down to my fabric to cut out 8 inches by 8 inches. That's what I'm going to use as the bra cup. Mine was 7 inches by 7 inches when I measured. The extra 1 inch is going to serve as my sewing allowance. So as you can see, I'm cutting out using my tape measurement to measure and cut out 8 inches by 8 inches square that I'm going to use as the bra cups. So I went ahead to also cut out lining with the same exact measurement. So guys, remember that my round under bust measurement was 28 inches. So I'm cutting out this band now with 28 inches and it's 4 inches long. I also went ahead to trace it out on the lining as well. So I'm putting this together and I'm going to fold it into a triangle like this, like you see me doing. It's actually a very simple thing to do, just fold it into a triangle. Then I'm going to, still using the same first point I made, I'm going to bring this other part to meet the same point like this here. As you can see, I think this is actually very easy to understand. Make it a triangle, then bring the other end to meet the same point, then cut it on one side. So here we go. I also did the same thing for the lining as well. So the next thing I went ahead to do, guys, is to remove this sharp end here at this point. So I actually made a curve with my tailor's chalk like this. So I went ahead to trim off this pointed edge here. So I just place this on my lining and then trace it out. Now that this is done, see there are two pieces of each, 2 pieces of the actual fabric and 2 pieces of the lining. So I'm going to leave everything aside first and I'm going to work on one part of the bralette. So I'm going to pin down this curved edge using my pins, and I'm going to also do the same thing for every other piece here. So now that I'm done, I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and sew it down on this edge, along the edge, and I'm going to do the same thing for all 3 of the other pieces. So guys, after I was done stitching it down, here is what it looks like. I'm going to trim away these excesses on the lining, excess fabric on the lining to make it neat inside, and I'm going to just turn it inside out. Here it goes. So I'm going to turn the right side out, and I'm going to actually take this to my iron and iron it out later. But here's how it looks after I've turned it right side facing each other, both the lining and the actual fabric. So this now I'm going to leave aside again, and I'm going to make a rope of about 1 inch wide and about 16 inches long to use as the tie for the neck of this bralette. You're going to understand what I'm going to use this for very soon. So I'm just going to cut this out with about 1 inch. I did make an actual measurement of this. I'm just cutting this out, just basically something that is not too wide. So I'm going to fold it inside out like this, and I went ahead to my sewing machine and stitched it on that edge. So here it goes. I'm just going to place it right in the middle of where I made my stitches on my bra cup, and I'm going to cover it with the lining right side facing each other, like you see me doing like this, and I'm going to pin it all the way around. So guys, I'm going to do this for the two pieces and sew it round along the pinned edge. So I'm done with the stitching. As you can see, I'm just cutting off the excesses on the side, and I'm going to turn it to the right side now. Yeah, it's looking fine. So it's looking so pretty already, and I think I've not even ironed it yet. It's looking very fine, guys. I'm already excited to see how this will turn out. So here is it. I have gone ahead to make the other part and as well ironed it out. So now I'm going to place my cups on this point I made on the band. So I'm going to place the first one right at that point I made with my scissors and pin it down, and I'm going to do the same thing for this other part right at that same point and pin it down as well. So guys, because I want this to actually look very neat, I don't want to see any seam allowance when I don't sewing this. That's why I am folding these cups inside, and I'm going to cover it up with the lining like you see me doing. I'm going to stitch it down on this edge with my sewing machine. So here it goes, guys, like this. Now I'm just going to turn it inside out from this end here and bring out the cups itself. So guys, here it is. You see how I've done it like this. So even the back looks neat. I really didn't want to see any form of sewing, stitching thread or whatever in this bralette, and I also wanted it to be reversible. So this is the way you make a reversible bralette. If you want to actually have a reversible bralette, you put the lining into the bra cups into the band, then sew it together and bring it out like the way you saw me doing this. So this is all for this for now. For the back, initially I was supposed to put a zipper, but I was unable to get a zipper, so I decided to remove 2 inch from the back from the initial measurement, 2 inch from both sides, making it 4 inch altogether. And I decided to put a lace at the back and cut out this with 2 inches long, this tiny ropes here with 2 inches long, and I'm going to place it inside my band to enable me to create a lace at the back of this bralette. So I'm going to do it like this, as you see me doing, and I'm going to pin it down. I'm going to have 2 on each end of the band. So guys, here it is. I've done it for both ends of the band, as you can see. I'm just going to take it to the sewing machine and stitch it down on the ends like this. So guys, the last thing I did was to make this long rope you're seeing here, which I used to make a lace at the back of the bralette. So this is basically the last thing in this tutorial, and that's all for this tutorial, guys. I really appreciate you guys for watching, especially you watching to the end of this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe